Hello. We are bringing you a show from the Democrat television tonight that talks about an issue that we work on every year in Knox County and lots of other places, and that is helping people do their taxes. This is the VITA Program, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, and we do this at the Community Action Committee building on Western Avenue in Knoxville. And my guest tonight is Terry Reed, who is the coordinator for all the volunteers and for the program that we have had here for many years. So welcome, Terry. We're glad to have you.
Well, I'm glad to be here with you, Miss Sylvia. In case you don't know, Miss Sylvia has been a VITA volunteer for over 20 years. And if you've seen it in taxes, Miss Sylvia has probably done the return. She is incredible at what she does, and we just appreciate the support.
Well, thank you. It is a job that needs to be done. People need help with their taxes. Even if they try to do it at home by themselves, they eventually come up here for us to help them amend them and fix them for them. So tell me a little bit about the program. We know that it's a program through the IRS. It is a legitimate program, and it is using volunteers because they don't have enough staff to do all the things they need. Right. And it's low income and free.
Yes.
So.
VITA, as Miss Sylvia said, is Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. It's a program that is sponsored by the IRS. All of the volunteers are trained and certified by the IRS in tax preparation. Miss Sylvia, as I told you, is one of our long service volunteers. She's been preparing taxes for over 20 years. Many of our volunteers have been doing this for 5, 10, 15 years. They're former accountants, CPAs, business people, and just regular people from all walks of life that want to help and give back to the community. The program itself is designed for folks that are it's $66,000 and below, $66,000 and below, but that's not exactly how we look at it here. It's based on the forms that you bring in. We can't do farm income or rental income or anything like that, but if your forms are like W-2s, retirement, those kind of things, we can do your taxes. It's no real problem.
Yeah, interest and some simple stock.
Yes.
We do some simple stock.
Annuities, stocks, simple stocks, interest, basic taxes that the majority of people have. And this year, one of the big issues is the advanced child tax credit. We've been working a lot on that because many people don't understand that monthly payment that they got starting this past July, that's half of what they're due, and they don't get the other half unless they file a tax return for 2021.
Well, the idea was not wait until March or April and get a big check when you were trying to feed your kids all year long.
Exactly. It was to help take care of children on a monthly basis. And the studies have found that that's been really a worthwhile goal. It's taken many children out of poverty. About 90% of all the money that's been used has been for needs, food, clothing, rent, things like that, which, kids need.
Right. And that has been a big help. So talk about how many volunteers we actually have. I know we started out with 2. I was one of those 2 years ago.
Well, we've been real fortunate. The program has grown, and we have right around 40 volunteers. And the reason I say right around is because we're constantly getting new volunteers and getting them trained. We have 3 different sites that we sponsor here at the L.T. Ross building at 2247 Western. And then we have Cokesbury United Methodist Church on Kingston Pike. And we have the Rocky Top Public Library in beautiful Rocky Top, Tennessee. Those are all 3 of our sites, and we sponsor them through CAC. And to give you an idea of what we did last year, we did 2,695 tax returns, which accounted for almost $4 million in refunds, almost $1 million of earned income tax credit. And one of the big numbers is we saved the community over $870,000 in tax preparation fees. And I think that's just tremendous.
Yes. It's not that we're doing something to keep somebody else being in business, but these people can't afford to pay $500 and $600 to have their taxes
Right.
done when we do it for them for free. And then if they come back with an extra W-2 or they didn't turn us in a form that we didn't know about, we fix that.
We fix it.
And when paid preparers get that, they'll say, go see CAC.
That's
So they'll
right.
send them over to us to do taxes. The other part of the program that I really appreciate is not only do we do back taxes, but we actually do taxes all summer long.
We do. We all the taxes are done by an appointment method. Now, if you want to do taxes at the Western Avenue location, the appointment line is 865-244-3086. The Rocky Top line is 865-426-6762, and Cokesbury does all of theirs via internet appointments, and there'll be a link to that in the video. We're open at CAC year-round. That phone number is good 365 days, and we'll take appointments. We do back taxes, amendments. Many times a person will file a tax return. They'll get a letter from the IRS with a problem. They'll schedule an appointment. They bring it in, and we fix it. We have volunteers that they normally come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and again, it's by appointment, and we take care of the problems. And something I'm very proud of is if you go to the IRS office here in Knoxville and you have a problem, they send you to us.
That's
and
right.
to fix your problem.
They don't do taxes anymore at the office. They can run off if you've lost all your W-2s, they can run that off for you because the employer sent them in.
Yes.
And then they send them over here to us. I mean,
Yes.
they feel very comfortable sending them to us. And we've got like a 99% correct record with the IRS. So they're very happy to see us do their programs because they know they're going to be done right. And the only errors that we would ever find is not necessarily ones that we would make. It would be an error where somebody carries a child that shouldn't have carried them, and now this person's come in and wants to carry them, and two people can't carry a child.
Right.
So.
Right. Some of the common errors are like Miss Sylvia says. Your child lives with you. You come in and you file a tax return, and you find suddenly that someone else is carrying that child, and we spend a lot of time helping you solve that problem. Or if you had health insurance through the ACA marketplace and you don't tell us and you don't bring the form, that kicks out, and you'll get a letter from me saying you need to bring the form back in here for us to finish your taxes. So most of the errors that we have are errors of where someone doesn't tell us something. I would never say we won't make an error, because with all the numbers we deal with, it is easy sometimes to transpose a figure, but our error numbers we are way below the national average for errors on tax returns. We're well known for following the tax law here and having very well educated, very well tax versed volunteers. And again, they're all IRS certified, and they have to pass their tests or they can't do taxes.
And then we always have a checkup. You do somebody's taxes, then another volunteer goes over your work to make sure that you have not left anything out. And I've never worked in a place where people didn't complain if you found an error. Here, if you find an error, we're tickled to death.
Yes.
Oh, you found my error, because they don't want it to go to IRS wrong. And so it makes it such a nice place to work. All the volunteers that we've had, I've really enjoyed coming in and looking forward to coming in each season.
Well, this is my 13th year, and like Miss Sylvia says, when she started out with 2 volunteers, and when I became the one who was running the VITA program, it wasn't really dedicated to anybody to run at that particular point, and the agency decided they wanted to grow it, and we were doing about 300 tax returns a year.
Mhm.
And as you can see, we're doing almost 2,700. And before COVID, we were doing over 3,000. So it's been a real great thing, and the people are great. The volunteers are wonderful. We don't have quite the situation we had before. We have a big waiting area for the people that are getting their taxes done to wait in while their taxes are being done. And the volunteers, if they have questions, they come over and ask the questions. When they're done, they come over and explain it. You know, we're trying to be socially distanced and be safe, but at the same time give a personal touch and talking to the people getting their taxes done. We've done parking lot taxes and drop-off taxes, and those are good because of the situation the world was in, but this is bad.
Yes, and instead of clients sitting at our desk, as they did for many years, they wait actually in this room that
Yes.
we're in, separate, different tables for different people, and they're not waiting in their car. They're waiting in a building where it's warm or cool,
Yes.
whatever it is, and it's quiet and pleasant, and we can just walk across from our desk to ask a question if we need to. And that works out better, because last year we'd have to call them in their car and they would be on their phone.
Yes, parking lot taxes were tough.
It was tough, but we knew how important it was to carry forward with the program because of the needs.
Yeah, I think doing, almost 2,700 taxes when you're having to chase people down in the parking lot is pretty good.
Well, you would go out there, you would call them, and you go out to get them to sign the form or whatever, and they would have gone to get them a lunch and bring it back.
Yes. Yes.
We don't run into that, and it seems to be we can do them faster the way we're doing them this
I
year.
think so.
So I'm real pleased. I'm real pleased with that. Tell us some other things that are different this year. I know every year there's something different because we do have to be trained, and every year we take the training.
Well, the
child tax credit, getting half of that is one thing.
Yeah, the child tax credit, getting the second half of that by having to file a tax return is a big difference. Most everybody, depending on your income level, is actually eligible for earned income tax credit this year. That's different. Foster kids are eligible. Children that have aged out of the state protective services programs are eligible for EIC where they weren't before. There's a stimulus payment that we have to make sure we account for that was given out in March and April of 2021. And there's people that didn't get that. And if they didn't get it, we're able to file for it and get them that. So those are just a few. Those are the big ones. But this tax year, with all of the different COVID programs that have been out there, there's just lots of things that everybody's situation is so different, and it's almost like you could find something different every time you do a tax return.
That is true. We kid about. We'll say, I got a new one. Everybody runs into something new. At least once a week, anyway, that we hadn't seen before. So. Well,
I remember once, Miss Sylvia, you said to me that no matter how many days in a row you come in, you see something new every day.
That is true. That is true. It's not just pay taxes. I had a job. Some people also mow yards.
Yes.
Some people are Uber drivers.
Yes.
And have their own income. And every day there's a different story, and especially when you had your client sitting across from you, you got all those stories. It was almost like they would come to see us because they wanted to look forward to seeing us. And I've got a couple coming tomorrow that had come to see me for years, and then they really didn't have to pay taxes. But she got some kind of a letter from IRS, and so she's been real worried about it. So I told her I would see her tomorrow.
Sure.
And help them with it. And I want to check on them. They want to check on me.
Yes.
We've seen each other. So we have lots of repeat clients.
We do.
And we also have people who come from other states around us, and especially in the summertime when they need to get help with their taxes, and there's nobody to help them.
That's right. We have people that come from North Carolina and
Right.
Kentucky,
Yeah.
down in Georgia to do their taxes. One of the things that's been real helpful is the folks that come here from Kentucky, they pass Rocky Top. So they stop at Rocky Top and do their taxes now, which helps them not to have to travel as far, and
Right.
it allows us to do more people here in the Knoxville area. When we're doing the summer taxes off season, it is amazing where people come from to have their taxes done because it's free, and some of them, the amounts they would be paying make it very worth their while to drive here. Now, some things I want to share with you just to make sure you understand. If you're going to come in here and do your taxes, of course, you have to have an appointment. We require to see a Social Security card from everybody who's going to be listed on the tax return. We require picture IDs from the main taxpayers. If a person received the advanced child tax credit, the IRS should have sent you a letter that talks about how much you got in the advanced child tax credit. We need to see that. And of course, we need to see all of your W-2s and all your income information, your retirement account statements. They're called 1099-Rs. We need to see all those things. And if you come in here with those things, you fill out your paperwork with your address and stuff on there, and we make sure that your taxes are done. And the waits have not been very long at all this year. They've been really, really short.
The appointment has really worked.
I think so.
We've not had a period of nothing to do. It's been steady work and spread out over the whole day.
Yes. Miss Sylvia the other day, it sounds like I'm bragging on Miss Sylvia, and I am, but she did 11 tax returns on her shift the other day. She was here from 10 o'clock until about 2:30 and did 11. That's a great day, but that's
Yes.
11 families that Miss Sylvia
Right.
was able to help, and that's how we look at it. We don't look at it as we did 20 returns. We look at it as the number of families we're able to help and take care of, and
Right.
because every family matters.
Yes, and that's what we care about.
Yes,
They are appreciative of us doing their taxes.
they are very much so.
And of course, if they owe, we're always so careful about going over the return with them. But you'd be surprised, people know they owe
They
before. I mean, it's like, oh shoot, this one's owing. I hate to break the news to them, but most of the time they will already know that.
Yes.
Because they know they've got money they're not paying taxes on. And I had a man the other day tell me, he said, I know that. I save the money up in escrow so that I can pay my taxes. So.
And you're right, most people know, but we also try, if someone owes, we try to help them understand how not to owe on their next
Right.
tax return, because
Right.
many times it's withholding amounts, not having enough taken out of your checks, or maybe you've gotten more than one job that you're working. Those make a difference.
That's what I always say to them. A computer figures this income tax on this job. They don't know you've got this job, and each of those computers are figuring just the amount based on what you're making there. But when you add it all together and go up to a higher level, then your percentage goes up higher.
Yes.
And so they said, well, what can I do? We just say, well, take one of them and say, take out an extra $10 a week, or take out what you need, and then you won't owe so much at the end. So.
A good rule of thumb on withholding is to try to look at your total amount you're going to make,
Right.
and have 10% withheld. However, if you have two jobs, maybe you have all that come out of one job,
Right.
and you don't have it out of the other, or you split it in half. But if you do about 10%, you're
Yes.
always going to be okay.
Yes. Okay, let's see what else we wanted to talk about. How many have we already done? We've just been open 2 weeks, so how many taxes have we done so far?
Well, here in the LT Ross building, we've done right around 400, and counting Cokesbury and Rocky Top, we're getting close to the 500, 525 range.
Just in 2 weeks?
Yes. So we're way ahead of schedule from what we were last year. But again, you can do more taxes when you're not doing the parking lot taxes because it just takes longer to do a return when you have to walk outside the building. This is much more efficient.
So I want you to tell about the letter that I got yesterday that you sent out. We get emails from you all the time about IRS being behind, because people ask me, when am I going to get my check? I said, I used to tell you get it in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to tell you now, don't expect it before a month.
Yeah. Basically, if everything is good with the tax return and it's filed electronically and there's no problems with it, the IRS is telling us about 21 working days. But if anything about that return is a little bit odd or it's off, or if you have to mail a return in, that return could take, I hate to say this, 6 to 9 months. Because there were many, many months, almost a year, that the IRS had nobody working because of COVID. And there are millions and millions of returns behind. And the last numbers that I saw, they still had, not even counting the ones they're working, they still had 7 million pieces of unopened mail from the 2020 tax season. And they're trying to knock those out, but the additional manpower they put on those particular returns causes them not to be able to work on the 2021 return. So it's a bad situation. So that makes it even more important that you bring us all the information you can, because some returns will reject and come back to us and we can fix those because it tells us what's wrong. Other returns, the IRS knows we can't fix them, so a human has to touch those returns, send out a letter, wait for the letter to come back, and those can take, I've helped some people that it's been 9 to 10 months before they've been able to get a response, and I don't want that to happen to anybody, but that's where we are right now with the tax world.
We do the work on the front end, and then it goes to IRS, and we can't do much about that. So
once they have to touch it with human hands, all bets are off on how quick you're going to get it.
So I want to, when we wrap up here, I want to be able to show where our site, where we actually work in the building. We're in the hallway.
We are.
We're in the hallway. When I first started, we were on the other side of the wall. We just had like 2 computers, and then we moved over to that side and have greenery and little cubby holes to work in. And so we're going to show some pictures of what intake looks like, and the phone. Miss Lula.
Miss Lula is worth a picture.
Yes. That makes the appointments and tells them what to bring and that kind of thing. So.
Yes. Well, I just want you to know I'm just honored to be on this, and if I can do anything to help in any way, just let me know. We'll do everything we can to help.
Well, the thing that I've always wanted, and you know this, is I want us to advertise as much as we can.
Yes.
I want people to know we are here. We're here to help. We're here to do it right by the IRS rules. We are actually volunteers for the IRS.
Yes.
And so they make sure that we do everything proper. But we love doing taxes. I mean, some people hate doing taxes, but our group loves doing taxes.
They do. And the phrase that I always use, and Miss Sylvia has heard this many times, we want you to keep all your money. Not only your refund, but we don't want you to have to pay to get it done, so we want you to keep all of your money.
That's right. I mean, they're entitled to it, and we want them to have it. As a matter of fact, I saw an article the other day saying low-income people need help with doing their taxes, and I answered that email and I said, I've been doing it for 20 years. You know, this program is set up by IRS.
Yes.
It's not one of those advertised on the TV that says, if you're going to owe, come to us, we can help you with that. No, we actually do their real taxes.
We do. We do.
So. So let's wrap it up here so we'll have
Okay.
time to go look around. Thank you all for watching our show on the VITA program, and we want you to be able to refer people to us to do their taxes. We'll give you a number on the screen so that you'll know where to call to set up an appointment and come in and let us do your taxes. So thank you.
Thank you.
If you would like help preparing your taxes through the VITA program, visit knoxcacvita.org to find out if you're eligible and make an appointment. VITA will prepare a wide variety of tax forms. Assistance is also available in Spanish. When you arrive for your appointment, stop by this table where you'll hand over your paperwork to volunteer preparers so they can take care of you. If you have any questions, they will be happy to guide you through the process. To find out more, visit knoxcacvita.org.